Hello, everybody. I'm Phil Soto-Ortiz. Bryan Stabbe alongside for what, a month or two ago, you would have thought would have been a very forgettable game. Not the case. Ursinus has been hot of late. They are just one game out of a playoff spot, Brian. This is going to be a big test for this F&M team. They need to respond.
Yeah, and after losing on the road at Washington by 1, and what was a game that they knew was going to be tough. That's one of the toughest places to play in the Centennial Conference. Still don't necessarily anticipate that it's going to happen. Now coming home against a team in Ursinus that's coming in riding high off a big win against one of the top 10 ranked teams, one of the top 2 teams in the Centennial in Dickinson. This is not going to be any easier of a test for F&M. It helps that they're at home. Coming in 2 losses in a row, it's a challenge, and they got to find a way to turn it around here tonight.
That's Lee. Pulls up from about 8 feet away and kisses it off the glass, and F&M takes the 2-0 lead.
Morgan Lee's been a fast starter. He scored the first 6 points of the ball game in their last time out here at home against Hopkins. We're looking for a big game out of him tonight, as he had kind of a down performance against Washington, failing to get to double digits.
He had a good game point-wise against Washington College on Saturday and gets off to a good start against Ursinus.
Yeah, F&M and Brandon Federici have been a little colder the last couple of games shooting the 3, but Federici still shooting 40% from beyond the arc. Devin Figueroa, 4th in the conference at 43%. Obviously 2 sharpshooters to keep an eye on in the white and blue. This Ursinus Bears team, very young, and you got to imagine that getting a win like they did their last time out against Dickinson, which could be the biggest of many of their young college careers, has got to be a big confidence boost for these guys. And for a team that's sort of battling on the outside looking in right now, still sub 500. They took some injuries very early on in the season that's hamstrung them a bit here in 2014, 2015. You sense a little bit of momentum from this team out of Collegeville as they come into Lancaster.
That's the first foul of the game on the Diplomats almost 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah, a little overzealous there by Matt Tate on the reach, and he's been playing good, tight defense. And Matt Knowles has been, I wouldn't describe it as loose with the basketball, but I think Tate has seen a bit of a vulnerability as Tate goes over to the bench, and we're going to get our first look at Jared Wright at the point guard position. That 1-2 punch for F&M in the backcourt has been very interesting to watch this season.
21-6. F&M over Ursinus. You're watching Franklin and Marshall College basketball at GoDiplomats.com.
And we talked a little bit going into this contest about the weird finishes that happened last Saturday around the conference. And I don't know that we've ever seen a day into the Centennial Conference, certainly not this year, that you could describe as wacky, the way that the outcomes of the game went last weekend on Saturday. F&M falling by 1 in overtime against a 3-18 Washington College squad. Ursinus victorious over Dickinson by 3. And to see Johns Hopkins escape by 1 point on the road at Swarthmore, that one very well could have been a day in which the 3 top teams in the conference ended up losing. Hopkins instead is able to pull 1 game ahead of Dickinson and another game ahead of F&M. So knowing that's sort of the scene that's set up coming into today's game, you say, all right, right now that loss on Saturday really hurt, combined with the loss against Johns Hopkins earlier in the week. What can we do to start turning things around? And I think we've seen it here in the first half as they come out leading by 15 in the early going.
F&M red hot from downtown has been mostly Brandon Federici. Jared Wright welcomes himself to the party, and F&M leads it by 20.
You generally think, you say, all right, we're going to pound it inside. They're going to go after him. That'll open up the shots on the perimeter. But for F&M, it's the opposite here tonight. They're getting those shots open on the perimeter. The Bears are going to have to go out and defend those perimeter shooters. It might open up the inside for F&M for some more one-on-one looks.
They're not going to change their minds. Morgan Lee back into the game.
Yeah, I think he got a little over-anxious there. He saw Cedric Monet got sucked out to the high post, so he had an open shot at the baseline, and then looked like he had an open take to the rack, shuffled his feet, got too excited. Seeing a lot of different looks in the front court so far here tonight for F&M, with Sean Hines now in the ball game with Cedric Monet. We've seen Leor Levy, we've seen Lionel Awana. For a team that really this year has prided itself on some backcourt depth, a lot of guards who can step back and shoot, they can possess the basketball, do a lot of things very well. It's good for them to be able to try and re-solidify, re-establish that front court rotation that I think might not be where they would like it to be at this point in the season.
Has nobody ever suggested that for the game of basketball? I know it's been around about 130 years. They're probably not going to change the rules now, but that's my idea.
Well, they've changed them in the past. There used to be wooden buckets that were up there, not nets, so something's changed over time.
John McEnroe is always saying that he wishes tennis would go back to wood rackets. And I think they'll probably leave the metal rims up for basketball.
Yeah, that's fine by me. Really great possession there by F&M. Good distribution. They set up once again with 15 left to go. Sean Hines taking it down low, driving baseline. Realized he was trapped with Lestracco one-on-one underneath the basket, going up against a guy that's bigger than him, maybe a little bit stronger than him. Sean Hines using his court awareness, his vision, and his smarts there to find Federici in the corner, who instead of taking a rushed three, takes it right to the hole and gets 2 out of it from the charity stripe.
Remy Yannico adds 2 more to the ledger for the Bears. They're still down big.
Another guy who does a good job of elevating and releasing the ball at the apex of his jump. We saw it right there with a hand in his face in Morgan Lee.
Last week, F&M having won 3 straight with Johns Hopkins coming in. Not quite the same level of anticipation for Ursinus tonight.
Yeah, not to go back and harp on that game, but it was one where you felt like the Diplomats had their chances. They had opportunities to put away a team that was ranked higher than they were, that they had beaten once on the road, and they just weren't able to do it. They rushed some shots. They had a poor shot selection throughout the contest, especially from beyond the arc, and then they go and continue that streak, if you can call it a streak, on the road, losing 2 in a row. But it feels like if there were any kinks, they've gotten them ironed out here today. I don't know if you could call this a statement game, but it's certainly got to feel good to come out and be able to impose their will after taking 2 losses consecutively against conference opponents.
But he's gotten regular playing time this year, but you can see the shot has improved as well.
Certainly has, and with some of these more veteran guys, and Dem Figueroa and Morgan Lee, they've really barreled down. They've gritted their teeth, said, listen, we need to find a way to have everybody sort of gel a little bit better than we have in the past. Everyone needs to know their role, really accept it. Some guys are scorers. Some guys are going to be primarily defenders. They're going to be out there distributing the basketball. And I really think right now what we're seeing is a team where that's the case. We have the guys who go out there and they know what they need to do, not trying to do more than is being asked of them. And to see all those pieces come together is really crucial. And now you talk about it, we say, all right, well, they lost 2 games in a row and they were having their struggles, but it feels like a game like this can cure just about everything that ails you.
F&M won this one. It was over early.
Yeah, they came out fast. They came out with their foot on the gas and they kept it there. They never took it off, and they gave their guys an opportunity, some of the deeper guys on the bench, an early opportunity to play some long and significant minutes, and that didn't mean that their big guys didn't get an opportunity to score. As you said, Federici just 1 point shy of his career high. He had 30. He set the Centennial Conference freshman scoring record in the effort, breaking Malik Killing's record he set back in 2012. Figueroa joining him in double digits. Lee 1 shy of that. Monet ended up with 8. Good defensive performance by F&M, and I think maybe Ursinus came out a little bit flat, knowing that they had a big victory their last time out against Dickinson. It wouldn't be fair for us to come out here and surmise why they only were able to score 14 points in the first half and then just another handful in the second half against some of F&M's reserves. But all you could say for F&M is I think it's got to be a relief going into the last couple of weeks of the conference schedule. And this has got to be a good little confidence booster for them here today, showing what they are fully capable of when they're firing on all cylinders.